Hello, it's Christine Denny again, and welcome back to another episode of On the Couch with Christine. And today I have the amazing Andrew Bevis with us, who is really amazing in musical theatre in Australia. He's done so many roles. He's played Marius in Les Miserables, a great romantic lead, Andrew.
Yes, I have. Oui, French.
Yes, then he was Tremont in the recently put on musical Jerry Springer.
Yep.
It's a really out there sort of role, a pre-operative transsexual. Something to stretch you there, Andrew.
Yes.
Yes, then he was in Rocky Horror Picture Show. You played Brad.
Yes, prior to that last year.
And Barnaby in Hello Dolly.
Oh, we're going back a long way.
Yes,
now.
we are.
Yes.
And who else? Let me have a look here. Who have I missed? Oh, Romeo in Romeo and Juliet.
I did.
He did. So my question for you is, did you go looking for all these really amazingly different roles, or did they just sort of come to you?
Oh, look, you never go looking for anything. Whatever, like the phone call that comes through, that's what's kind of on the table. It's just been kind of, not coincidence, fate, that every time I've done a job, the next job has been very different to the one before. So I've never done anything that's particularly similar.
Right.
Not back to back anyway.
Do you approach your auditions, because some people say if they go to a dance audition, it's like Fosse, that they dress in like,
Right.
black, and they try and look Fosse. So do you like go to your Marius audition trying to look very romantic and handsome, and then...
I probably did when I was about 19. But like, just common sense, like I wouldn't go outrageously incorrectly dressed for something, but I don't walk in the room as, hey, I'm the character, because a lot of people kind of do that. Whatever works for people, I kind of wait till they go, and then I kind of just, I don't really over prepare, because you never know what their vision is, and if you get it wrong, then you're kind of stuffed.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. So you sell the song, and then... So you're saying in an audition sometimes you get direction from the people?
Absolutely. And if you go in to thinking... They always say never try and second guess what the creative team want.
Right.
Unless it's something like Les Mis, where you know exactly what they want because it's a cookie cutting show.
Right.
Does that make sense? Cookie cutting, I should say.
Yes, it does. No, but it's so well known.
Yeah, like you know what it's going to be.
Marius can only be Marius.
Yes.
Yes. Now, I did notice on your biography that you actually started your life as a trainee musical director on Phantom of the Opera about 15 years ago, which is, as you know, where I met you.
Oh,
now,
so I know you. Yes, good.
Yes. Did you go into that? How did you get that job?
I could jump the true story.
Yes, please.
I was doing my HSC, and the show was in Melbourne. It was transferring to Sydney. I'm from Sydney, and there was an ad in the paper saying they were looking for people to audition for the orchestra. And I was naive because I'd played for local musical society shows and stuff, and I was never a performer at school. I was never I always directed the shows and stuff. I was never in them. And I applied, and it so happened they were looking for, back then there was a situation where if companies earned over $1 million in Australia, they had to spend 1% of their income on training. That's now gone. And so they kind of invented this traineeship for me, which I did for 14 months. No, I didn't. I did it for 6 months, and I finished, and then I was officially I piano player, played in the orchestra, and I played for rehearsals, and I took everything.
So at that stage, though, were you thinking of going on to be an on-stage performer?
Yes.
And had you had singing lessons or something, or
no?
So how did you transition from playing for the local music society to being the lead in the West End?
Well,
how does that happen?
Because the esoteric synchronistic version is that I told the people would say, what are you doing when you finish school? I'm going to play Marius in the West End, right? And then I went and did...
That's what you said to people?
Ridiculous. I had
but were you joking? Or?
No.
Oh,
no,
right,
I wasn't.
okay.
I believed it, and it kind of, oh yes, put it out their way. And then during Phantom, I remember there were... Hello Dolly was auditioning, and people were talking about it in the company, how they were going into audition for that. And I was like, oh... And I found out there was a part in it, and I went and got headshots taken, and I got a CV together and dropped it off myself to the Gordon Frost offices in Glebe. And then I got a phone call to come to an open audition. No, it wasn't open. I went to the open dance calls with all the people, the ensemble from Phantom of the Opera and everything, and then it was all they're like that, staring at me across the room.
And do you dance? Have you had dance training?
I'm incredibly coordinated, Christine, as you know. She did give me some early... Oh, no, before Hello Dolly.
Yes.
Or was it had I got Hello Dolly by then? You took tap classes for members of the crew and various people in the production of Phantom, didn't you?
I did take tap classes for the Phantom of the Opera cast and crew.
And didn't I shoot to the top of the class?
Andrew did shoot to the top of the class, and I thought, this boy has potential. And look at you
I
now.
Never stopped dancing.
Although you didn't get
I
to
never
tap.
actually started dancing since.
That's right, but you didn't get to tap in Les Mis, unfortunately.
Not on stage.
Oh, it was all in the dressing rooms.
I'm very entertaining in the wings.
I'm sure you are.
Yes, good.
So you still haven't said how you got to... So you went to the Hello Dolly audition.
What was the question?
How did you transition from...
Oh, God, right. So then, I got the Juve lead in the show in Hello Dolly.
And there you were.
And, we know about Marius that you were asking about. Right. And then there was a world tour of Les Mis, this is really boring, that went auditioned around the world, and I got into that, and we toured through Asia and Africa, and then after that they asked me to go to the show in London.
And was that a difficult decision?
I don't know, I'm still struggling if it was the right decision or not. No, it was fine. I did that for a year in London.
Oh, well...
And then I came back to Australia and went back again later on to London after that, after doing some shows here.
And this brings me to my next question.
Go on.
Being that you've worked so much in the West End, what do you think is the biggest difference between the theatre scene in Australia and that in the West End, and the standard between the two countries?
People in Australia work much harder to get where they have to be, because in London there's so many jobs. People go from job to job to job and they know what their next job's going to be before they finish the one they're on. And once you're in that kind of loop in London, you're kind of set in a way, whereas in Australia there are so few jobs that people work much harder to get there. And people also, particularly the guys, they train in dance from a much earlier age, whereas in London they go to, say, Mount View or Arts Ed at the age of 17, might start dancing, whereas people in Australia considered singers who move a bit will be considered dancers in London. So ultimately I think the standard, the overall, there are some fabulous dancers in London at the very top, but I think the standard of dance in Australia overall is much higher than it is in London because people work so hard. I know that when they cast shows in London they'll always include Australians because we're known for having a very good work ethic and just getting in there and doing it.
Yeah, and there's a lot of Australians over there, aren't there?
Lots. I went over like 15 years ago when the law was a bit different. We had to, you had to have British ancestry to go, and then in the last, I think about 5 years ago, they changed it to the holiday visa. Anyone can go for 2 years. It used to be for 1 year of the 2 year reason work, but now you can work for 2 full years as an entertainer. So
what would be your advice if there's someone out here who's watching this interview in Australia who wants to go over to the West End to work? What's your advice?
Right, okay.
What's the best tact?
Go with money in the bank because it's a very expensive place to live, but there's a lot more opportunity in terms of auditions. There's a lot of shows workshop over there. It used to be that you could get the Stage newspaper and now have open calls and stuff over there when it was Equity was closed, but Equity now doesn't in London have the same pooling where you haven't got to be a member of Equity to perform.
Oh, okay.
And there's also, like, let's say there's like, there might be 20 shows on tour plus, 20 musicals in the West End, and changing casts every 6 months. There's always auditions going on. But it's definitely a matter of going in to like Pineapple and places and get to know the existing people. It's very much kind of getting in that click and groove over there, but you just kind of got to be there.
Right.
Kind of pack your bags and go.
But have some money.
Have some money because it's expensive, and to maintain, working in a pub for £6 an hour is not pleasant for people today.
Yes.
But go there with your headshots all organised and stuff, and when you get there, there's only about 5 or 6 main casting directors. David Grinrod, Pippa Alien, Anne Vosser. Then Cameron McIntosh has his own one, Lloyd Webber has kind of in person. And once you kind of send your stuff to them, they will tend to see you because you are Australian when they have auditions.
So even if you didn't have any experience, they'd probably see you?
They might, because there's so many people over there auditioning. And they just like the Australian attitude. That kind of opens doors.
That's good to know.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much. The fantastic Andrew Bevis. So if you ever see his name in a program, he is fantastic. So thank you so much. I know you're busy.
Very much, Christine.
So thank you for coming along to my couch this evening. Bye.